What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. Good to see you all. I hope you're doing very well. Grab your coffee. I'm not going to be doing a video on a particular build today. We're going to be talking about what I think has become sort of the most difficult dungeon for people to conquer right now in Season 4, and that is Lower Karazhan. If you guys haven't done Lower Karazhan yet, then you might not understand that pain, but lots of people have been running into some big issues with Lower Karazhan, and we're going to talk about them today. So I want to give you guys a run through of this entire Lower Karazhan run that I end up doing.
I think we're starting. I have a good feeling that
I was pretty tired, and this group was kind of trolly.
the next 20 minutes.
But we're going to talk about this entire Lower Karazhan run. I'm going to go through tips and tricks on how to get through it successfully. Because I think one thing that I've heard floating around the community lately is that people are basically saying that the Legion dungeons, in particular Upper and Lower Karazhan, are like much harder and were tuned much more difficultly than any of the Shadowlands dungeons so far. So people are being like, Shadowlands Season 3 was like so easy compared to Season 4. And I'm not entirely sure that that's true. I think that for the most part, we just don't remember how to do the mechanics of the dungeons like Karazhan. And in reality, these dungeons will get much a the more we learn the mechanics and the more we respect those mechanics and do them properly. So I think they're maybe tuned a little bit more, like a little bit closer than Shadowlands Season 3 dungeons were. But you got to remember, we're starting from scratch here with our gear once again, right? Like we do not have a lot of gear. The maximum item level we're going to be able to get to is like basically between 291, 294, and like 304. And right now I'm sitting at 280. So I've got like 14 to 20 eye levels to go. So the reality is that these dungeons feel hard right now, but they're actually not actually that hard once you learn the mechanics. I will say one thing about Lower Karazhan is that every single boss in Lower Karazhan seems to have like a one-shot mechanic. And that is a little bit, that is something that was absent, I think, from Shadowlands boss fights. There were definitely parts of different boss fights that could one-shot you, but like they were more easily predictable, like easier to figure out. So like, for example, the Artificer Zymox, I don't actually know if it's Zymox, but the Artificer fight in the other side, right? If you go into the other side, there's the Night Phase zone, the boss in there, where you have to take the portal and like jump in the air or else you're gonna die. That is a one-shot mechanic, but it's like telegraphed and you have something to mitigate it. Whereas, like, in this dungeon, if you're doing the opera fight, which we're approaching here, we're gonna do the opera fight. The Murlocs will send those big tidal waves in both directions, and those are like much harder to dodge, and don't have a way to like just take no damage whatsoever. You have to dodge it or you're dead. The Moroes fight is a great example here, where if you release the wrong ally on the Moroes fight, you could basically just get one shot by their abilities. So like Dorothy is, for example, is one of the main problems there. So we're going to get to all the boss fights here. We're going to start with the opera one right here. I'm just going to talk about how to do them all properly. And I do want to emphasize that I think that these dungeons are going to get a lot easier once we figure these mechanics out and we're able to respect the one shots and make sure that we're not just dying to them, right? Like it's definitely, I think a lot of the one-shots in the Shadowlands dungeons are more easily recognizable. They're more telegraphed. Some of the one-shots in here are just like, you don't really know what's going on. You're not given a ton of information. You just have to know what's going on. So if you're not familiar with this opera fight, this can spawn there's 3 different encounters, I believe, that can spawn here. This week we have the Murloc and the Defias encounter. So like, you're going to start with the Defias guys, and then the Murloc guys will come in later, and then you're going to fight them both at the same time. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks for this boss fight here. Again, you're starting out with Tony. It's Tony. I love this so much. You're going to fight him. He's going to jump. The Ruffians are going to jump and start poisoning people. You can see 3 of us have poisons. That's just like a healing mechanic. Or if you can get rid of poison, like our Monk and our Paladin can, they should have gotten rid of those right away. So then Tony does this fire swarm thing. So he starts jumping around everybody and leaves fiery tornadoes. You have to get out of that. If you stand in it for more than like a couple seconds, you're going to die. He also does Burning Leg Sweep, which is just an AoE around him. Again, another one-shot. If you stand in this leg sweep, you will die. So, it does feel sometimes like there's like lots of one-shots, and I feel like there shouldn't be. But really, they're avoidable. You just have to be smart and respect them.
Oh my God,
You can't just stand in them and not like disrespect them. We're getting a lot of Ascendance procs here, which is really, really cool. I was running Deeply Rooted for this dungeon. So there's the tornado. I'm standing in it for a second. Now I got to leave because I will, if I stand there for 3 more seconds, I'm dead. So then he, at 50% health, he goes down. The Murlocs come up, and they start casting Bubble Blast. Now, we just used all of our CC here because we're idiots. The 3 Murloc adds will cast Bubble Blast. You really do need to interrupt them and take turns using your AoE crowd control. Very important. We kind of messed that up. On a higher key, you would have to get this down to a T or people are going to start dying. Bubble Blast does about a third of your health. There's also a big orb traveling towards me that I wasn't looking at because I'm an idiot.
Didn't notice the big ball coming after me.
Then there's the waves you have to dodge. And the waves will not one-shot you, but they will... Actually, they will one-shot you. I'm sorry. They will. They will kill you. So... You want to kill Magurga as best you can, and then once the ads get killed, they'll stop casting. And then once Magurga gets to 50% health,
We're slamming.
Tony and Magurga come out together. And then Tony's going to jump around with the tornadoes, and Magurga's going to keep the waves going, and it gets very chaotic, and that's okay. You just have to pay attention. Don't get hit by Burning Leg Sweep. Yada, yada, yada. Again, once you respect these mechanics and learn them, everything is okay. Now, once you're done this fight, you'll go into this next hallway. And what you should do is go pick up the ads that are in here and bring them outside into the boss room. So I thought that's what this tank was going to go do.
I always forget to lust.
But he doesn't end up doing that. He just ends up fighting the ads in there. You really should bring the ads out because it's much, much easier to fight them outside, not in this hallway. You don't really want to fight in this hallway, especially with quaking. The quaking just makes this really difficult. I decided to lust here because I forgot to lust on the boss. So I figured we'll just lust here because it's close enough to the boss fight, and then we'll just blow these ads up. That is actually my fault. This is a tyrannical week, so the boss fights tend to be a bit harder. But he just went and pulled more. He just went and pulled like 3 packs, and you cannot do that. Even though we lusted. I don't know why he did that, but it was a huge mistake. And you're going to see how difficult this hallway can become. That there's so many poetry slams going off, the tank just dies. So... You really need to not pull that many ads, number 1.
Why did he pull everything?
And number 2, you need to pull them back into the boss room. That's really important. So I'm going to skip ahead here because we end up dying a lot.
Why do people do that? Why, dude?
Yeah, he drove me crazy. Don't pull like this, ever. Let's go to 37. 37. So we end up getting the Dreadlord mini-boss. He's also in this hallway, just up a little bit further. So the tank decided to... He finally got aggro on the mini-boss and pulled him backwards, but people died once again. We end up dying 9 times right there. The mini-boss is here. He's going to do his all of his abilities. We've already basically killed him at this point.
Really struggling.
That's okay.
It's crazy.
Once we get to this... through this
little
hallway...
They just butt pulled twice. That's what happened.
You're going to come down here, and you want to go down these stairs all the way, this little ramp. And I don't understand what the tank does right here. You need to go through here, and then there's a bunch of ads on the other side of this wall, and you can just kill them.
Just pulled it, that's all. It's not bugged.
So instead, he pulls them into the hallway.
We're doing it in this hallway?
I don't know why he's doing this.
This is such a
Look at quaking. This is such a bad idea. Like, this is not how you need to do this. Just go into the next room and pull a bunch of ads together. It makes no sense, dude.
90% haste? Nice.
So this is what you should do. Just pull. He should have just pulled everything right here. And then he doesn't get aggro. I don't know what's going on. I'm not even doing that much damage. He's doing more damage than me. Somehow I'm getting attacked.
Dude.
I was really losing my mind here. It was pretty frustrating, not going to lie. Big Ascendance proc there, though. Big damage. Lots of Earthquakes went off. Huge lava beam. Boom, boom, boom. Into Earthquake. Into Earthquake. Into Earthquake. We had so many 4 Earthquake procs in a row, by the way. And I'm dying. Have to Healing Surge myself. So anyway, that's how you want to pull this room because you can just AoE everything to death and blow it up.
I actually did this dungeon on my warrior, and we timed it with Fat Man. We did perfectly fine, and it was a 10.
So this next section here, you're going to pull these little ushers.
We're good, right?
These guys do an ability called Flashlight, where they shine a light at you. If you're facing towards them, he's doing it right now. If you're facing towards this guy, when this ability goes off, you will get incapacitated and take a lot of damage. So don't. You have to turn around. I'm going to turn around at the last second here. You can see the priest and the druid and the monk all got hit by flashlight. Not good. You have to turn around for every flashlight. Here comes the second flashlight. The priest almost dies.
Healer's gonna die. There we go.
Very, very bad. There's a patrolling usher that's going to come up the stairs here. But you just have to turn around for every flashlight. That's all you have to do for this section. It's not hard at all. I end up getting killed because some quaking. People step on me with quaking. But that's fine. No big deal. You go into this next room. You're going to pull this stuff. And you're going to swing left. Okay? Then there's this hallway. This is before the Maiden of Virtue hallway. So basically in this hallway, there's a bunch of like ranged guys with bows, and there's a bunch of guardsmen right here. And the guardsmen do an ability called Shield Slam or Shield. Let's see what it is. He's gonna cast it again here in a second. Just give me a second here. Come on, there it is. Shield Smash right there. That's guardsman. It's a frontal cone in front of him, and it stuns you and does a lot of damage. So you have to move away from that if you're in melee. Don't get hit by that. But you just want to clear this hallway all the way down. Keep clearing until you get to Maiden of Virtue.
Got hit by that.
Maiden of Virtue's in the room at the very end. Here we go. So Maiden of Virtue basically has an intermission phase where she puts a shield on herself, and you have to burn through the shield quickly and then kick her. She's doing a big cast called Holy Wrath. If she gets that off, you die. Okay? So the fight starts normally. There's a kick to do here, like Holy Bolt or something. And then there's a big puddle you have to put on the ground. There's Holy Bolt. Sacred Ground is the puddle that you need to go put on the ground. It's on the druid right now. The druid doesn't know where to take it because I don't know if he's ever been in here. But he needs to run it away from the boss, really far away. You got to get further than that. You got to get right to the edge of the room. And then otherwise it's going to spread. See, it's spreading right now. So you want to be further away. You're going to need to use the puddle in a minute. So a second puddle is coming. Sacred Ground number 2 is coming. Right, there it is. All right. Okay, now she's going to do an ability called Repentance, I think. I'll show you in a second. Here it comes. 3. There it is. Mass Repentance. What you have to do here is go dip your toes into the holy fire on the ground and then come back out. You just have to stand in there for like 1 GCD and then come back out again like this. Run in. And then I have a debuff now right here. A consecration looking debuff here. That will help me. Now, she puts Holy Bulwark on herself. This is when you want to lust. And she starts casting Holy Wrath. Holy Wrath is like a 12-second cast. You can see it right there. It's going very quickly. You have to burst through the shield. And then you can kick Holy Wrath. You can see it's now kickable. Somebody kicks it and you're good to go. But if you're not paying attention here and DPSing like crazy, you will just die. That's just a one-shot. So make sure you do that properly. That's the entire fight. Once you clear that, you're good to go. Okay? Now you're going to run back down the hall the way that you came in. Okay? You're going to go back out the same door that you came in here. And you're going to cut across the ballroom here over to this corner over here. Okay? And you're going to jump over the edge.
I'm just going to dismiss you.
You jump over the edge. This is the next boss fight right here, but you're not going to fight these bosses quite yet. So you clear this whole trash. This is the big banquet hall. You want to clear all the trash in here. I'm just going to skip ahead. Bunch of dinner guests, yada yada. Okay, clear the trash. Now, there's a trap on the ground here. There's 2 traps on the ground right here. This is for the boss fight. What you have to do with this boss fight is there's a main boss and there's 4 allies. You have to like trap 3 out of the 4 allies and then taunt the boss, and he'll bring 1 ally down with him. The other 3 are going to stay on stage. Then you nuke that 1 ally down to 0. Then you pull another ally 1 at a time. You keep pulling them down and nuking them down, and then you kill Moroes at the end. That's how you have to do this fight. If you start DPSing Moroes, the main boss, and you get him to like 60% of his maximum health, he will release all of his allies from the traps that you put them in, and he will kill you. You will die very quickly. So we trap 2 of them, and then he paralyzes a 3rd one, which is also something you can use. You can use Shackle Undead. These guys count as undead. They are undead. So we've got 3 of them CC'd now. We're going to pull the boss, and we're going to kill Robin, this guy in the back. He does like a Blade Storm type move. So there's Moroes. I don't want to damage Moroes. I just want to damage this Robin guy. Now, unfortunately, we pulled another one. Somebody broke the shield, the trap, sorry, on the second guy. So we end up killing 2 bosses at the same time, which ends up being kind of okay, but this is not ideal. It's very, very dangerous. You can see the healer is basically dead. He's having to create, like, the, I think the prop paladin is healing him. He's doing 18k HPS right now. So that's, there, we got through that. Now, both those are dead. We want to go and pull the next one. You don't want to pull Dorothy. Dorothy's kind of this mage right here. You want to pull Dorothy last, okay? So we're going to pull Captain Ference, whatever his name is. He just does Willbreaker. The monk does a great job re-paralyzing Dorothy. Then we're going to kill this guy. Ference has to die again. We don't want to DPS Moroes very much, or else he'll break out Dorothy before we want him to. Okay? So then we're going to kill Ference, then we pull out Dorothy, and we're going to nuke Dorothy down. Moroes will be jumping to us. He'll be jumping to all the allies and garroting you, and it does a buttload of damage. So as soon as you get garroted, you should pop your defensive. Here's the last ally. This is Dorothy. We're going to kill Dorothy. She will basically has a one-shot spell that it'll just kill you. You have to keep kicking her, or you will die. Somebody will die. So we end up just nuking her down, which is really, really good.
Pumped her so hard.
Yeah. Then you can kill Moroes. That's the whole fight. That looks very simple, but it's not that simple if you're not coordinated and you don't do the traps properly. You really need to do the traps properly. You have to know who you're going to kill. You have to bring down the right adds, and then you're good to go. Okay? Once you're done, killing Moroes is a little bit more trash to kill over here. And
you might time it. I don't know.
Then you're going to tuck around this corner right here, this pillar. You're going to tuck around here. So you run through here. You're going to pull this pack. That's okay. You pull this little pack right here. These stairs will get you down to the last boss. I just have so many earthquakes. Earthquake, earthquake, earthquake. Okay, down the stairs you go. Down into the basement, basically. This is the horse's kennel area down here. Kennel? It's not a kennel. Whatever. Stable. It's the stable. The gatehouse into the stable. This is the last arena. There's you have to kill Attumen the huntsman, right? That's the last boss with Midnight is the horse. You have to kill every ad that is in this area before you kill the boss. Otherwise, Attumen will pull all those ads into the boss fight with him. So make sure you kill all these horses. All the horses have to die. They do a bunch of trampling stomp stuff. Not a big deal. Okay. Here's the last pack of ads. Now we have the boss fight.
Okay.
On this boss fight,
we can do it.
You're gonna fight Attumen himself. He's gonna keep jumping off of his horse, and then the horse will be doing other abilities at the same time. I'm gonna show you this fight. One really important thing I want to show you. So he pulls the boss. Okay. Everybody's gonna get a debuff very, very shortly. Right here. See all these little white, smoky things that are hitting all of our characters? We now have this ghostly debuff thing. This is a healer mechanic. The healer has to dispel one of the allies in this group. One of us has to get dispelled. Nobody knows who we have to dispel. There's no indicator. There is, however, a physical manifestation of like a shadowy kind of spirit that will be hanging over top of one of us. And I'm going to show you what it looks like really quickly. But right now, you're going to watch. This priest has never done this fight before. Watch what happens.
He dispelled the wrong person.
Everybody dies. If the healer dispels the wrong person, everybody takes damage. Massive damage that will kill you. What we didn't know is that this priest had actually mass dispelled.
He mass dispelled it. Yes, dude.
It's really funny. Now, if you die on this fight and you've killed all the other bosses, you can take a shortcut to get back to Attumen. Instead of going up and to the right where we first started the dungeon, that's where we went. You can go down to the left here. Go down to the left. Don't go through there. That goes outside. You want to go through this door over here.
Oh, my God.
And then you want, instead of going left, you go right. You're going to cut up to the right. Okay. You go through this door. Go through this door here.
Debuff.
And then you're going to jump off this balcony. This will take you to the stairs that we talked about a second ago. These stairs will lead you back downstairs into the stable. Okay?
Do not spam Poggies.
Okay, so here we go. This is attempt number 2. We still have time. Again, we're going to get the same debuff. I want you to look at this though. Here comes the debuff. It's on everybody. You're going to see a big shadowy spirit above the priest right here. Watch over here. See that big shadowy thing right there? Let me move my camera so you can see the whole thing. This shadowy thing right here, that tells you that the priest is the one that needs to be dispelled. That's what it looks like. In case you're wondering what it looks like, that's it right there. So now it's kind of faded. So you want to keep your eyes open. See, look at there. It keeps procking. It'll keep procking on the priest whenever he does stuff. I notice it's here, and I tell the priest to dispel himself. You can see right there, it keeps procking on him. He's going to dispel himself right now, and then watch what happens to our raid frames. Right here. He dispels us, and we're good. It'll get rid of... It gets rid of the debuff. Now, you can see that the horse is going to charge back and forth. Attumen needs to be killed. You need to get him to a certain health percentage. The horse is just going to keep charging. Then Attumen does this thing called shared suffering, okay? You're supposed to come in and help the tank this. He's not supposed to tank it alone. I think he does here, though. Yeah, he basically doesn't take any damage, so... I meant to get in. I kind of messed it up.
Doesn't seem to be that bad. I don't know.
Now, Attumen gets to 50% health, and he jumps back on Midnight. Then you need to DPS Midnight, and then Midnight's going to start casting these horses in big lines. So you have to watch for these. If you get hit, you're dead. It's just like the Anduin fight. If you've done the Anduin fight in Raid, it's also just like the rats in Upper Karazhan. They do the same ability. So dodge, 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 dodge. Oh, we have the debuff again. Now, we're going to watch to see whose spirit it goes over. Right there. See that shadowy spirit right there? I think it's on the priest again. It's on the priest again. So he got it this time.
We're doing good damage.
He did great. He actually figured it out really quickly there. So that was good on him. Okay. Then we kill Attumen a little bit more till he jumps on Midnight again. What happened to me? Oh, I got hit by the horse. Anyway, he jumps back on Midnight. Okay. We get the debuff once again. Let's see if we can notice it once again. It's on the tank at the front there. You can see it. Big shadowy apparition thing right here. But now I'm not able to notice. So we're just doing damage. We're dodging horses. Okay. Then they're split up again. Now you need to kill Attumen as best you can. Oh my god. I have my shield, thank god. I would have died again.
Get out of that. I was right in the middle of it.
You want to kill Attumen? We've lost it already. Shared suffering. I tried to get in for this one, I think. And I don't think I should have. It ends up killing the monk, so I probably should have got there earlier. But we end up killing Attumen. Right here. And then it's just Midnight left. And Midnight dies very, very easily. Once you kill Attumen, the fight is basically over, which is really good. Okay? So that's it. Those are the fights.
We did it. Poggy's in the chat.
That is probably the hardest dungeon right now in Season 4 to do. I would say by like a large margin. Everybody's struggling with this fight. So I just wanted to make sure, with this dungeon, sorry. I wanted to make sure I told you guys a general route that you can take and also kind of what to do on each boss fight because it can be really difficult. And you don't want to just keep bricking your keys running into a Lower Karazhan. You want to get your Mythic Plus rating. You want to get going. So there's a couple different hints for you there. Just remember, once you learn all the mechanics on this dungeon, it will get easier. Once you learn to respect the flashlights and turn around and make sure you're doing that properly. Once you make sure to respect the Maiden of Virtue shield, make sure you pop Lust so you can blow that shield up and kick her before you die. Making sure you respect the what was the third boss? Oh, Moroes. Making sure you do the traps correctly. Use whatever extra trap. You can use Freezing Trap from Hunters. You can use Paralyze. Use whatever tools you have and just pull the ads down one at a time. You have to be very disciplined and do it correctly or else you'll end up wiping. And just like the same thing on this last boss fight, you have to understand the healing mechanic and be looking for it. Look for that shadowy apparition. Make sure you can find it and then dispel when you are certain that you have the right person or else the whole group will just die. So there's a lot of individual one-shots in this dungeon, but once you figure them out, guys, I promise you it'll be just as easy as some of the Shadowlands dungeons that we've been doing so far. So let me know what you think about Lower Karazhan. What has been your experience in Lower Karazhan? And I'd love to hear some horror stories from you guys, please. I've run this dungeon so many times already now, and we've had so many mistakes. It's been hilarious. I love it. I think it's actually the funniest thing. So give me all your Lower Karazhan horror stories in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. Drop a like if you like this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're very, very close to 2K subscribers. Please go tell your friends. Go tell your grandma. Get your dad to sub to me right now. Go tell your dad to sub to Zuko, okay? We got to get past 2,000 subs, and then I'll do a 24-hour stream for all you guys, okay? Thank you. I love you all very much. I will see you in the next one.